Completed Limitless the series, but while watching it, I kept seeing the name Mark Webb pop up, and it's hard to separate Mark Webb from the Amazing Spider-Man. So I had to, well, I didn't have to, but I chose to go back and rewatch the Amazing Spider-Man and the Amazing Spider-Man 2 from 2012 and I believe, I don't know, 14 or 16 respectively. Yeah, 14. And to see if my constant, continual love that I had for Mark Webb's product from Limitless the show carried over into Mark Webb's movies. So after I roll that open, Brandon will be here, and we are going to talk about Mark Webb's Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 and see how they hold up to his TV time. Brandon, thank you for coming over to talk about Mark Webb's Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. I appreciate the few episodes of Mark Webb's Limitless series you were able to join me for. I know that, life gets in the way sometimes, and in the case of Limitless, more often than not. But, it's always nice to have another perspective, because, I took actually way more notes than I typed, but I realized throughout typing up the notes that I said a lot of things repetitively, especially when it came to the Amazing Spider-Man 2. I repeated myself a lot, and so I just cut that stuff out. So what did you initially think of the Amazing Spider-Man? I assume you probably watched it when it dropped?
Correct. Yep. Day one.
And so, what were your original feelings on it, and were they changed upon time passing?
Yeah. First saw it, I liked it a whole lot. Now, I just think it's okay. It's good.
Sure.
So this movie to me was made retroactively would be the correct word, right? Where it's everything like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man did not do. They try to retroactively change or tweak a little bit of what
just to make it fit.
Correct.
To be different. Yeah, no, I feel that too, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to the webs.
Correct. The webs, even certain relationships where it's like, hey, Toby and Mary Jane were good in those Spider-Man movies, but I think the Gwen and Peter relationship is better. I think that they have better rapport. They go off of each other.
I agree with the assessment that choices were made because of the prior franchise.
And more focus on parents. The parents.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
I legitimately notated more times than I typed that I think that the movies would have flowed better if we'd have just dropped the whole Richard and Mary Parker stuff. And now I get that I say that with the knowledge of the knowledge that it never gets paid off. I even said at one point in my Amazing Spider-Man 2 notes, I said maybe if there was an Amazing Spider-Man 3 in, let's say, 2016, 2017, given the time between these films, I could see the argument being made, okay, well, it finally paid off, right?
Right.
But because we know that it never gets paid off, I think that it just would have made things move at a faster pace if we just didn't waste all this time setting up stuff that'll never get a conclusion.
Yeah, because, to me, the only important thing with the parents is the creation of the spider itself.
Sure, but I think that the reveal that Richard Parker worked with Norman Osborn and Kirk Connors at Oscorp is enough.
Correct. That, I agree with you.
Yeah, that establishes, hey, he had importance or an important role to play. And you can even sprinkle the maybe this is why he pieced out, but if they've got to do that, but like
Right.
spending so much time there, whew,
Mm-hmm.
it got quite draggy.
Oh yeah, really draggy. Well, especially when we get to the second one.
Oh,
it
sure,
gets
sure.
Really draggy, but yeah.
I don't care to bounce around.
Okay.
I'll
yeah.
just say this. I thought that the Amazing Spider-Man 2 visuals of like the exiting on the plane thing were pretty but pointless.
Yeah.
Like I liked all the stuff that happened on the plane. The reveal of the blood on the guy who took out the pilot. Mary being in the bathroom when Richard's trying to upload his information that he's passing along. Even the window breaking out. All of it was visually nice, but I just thought, again, without a payoff, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And so that actually kind of reminds me of a question that got brought up to me on a live stream, which was, who is the couple on a date in my 68 patrographic novel, Everlasting Survivors, Volume 1 All Day Long. So the person on the live stream was like, oh, did I miss who they are? And I said, well, no, I just haven't told you yet, you, the viewer, the audience, the whatever. And I said, because to me, it feels like a double-edged sword, right? So if at the point that I make the big reveal of what their importance are, and I don't set them up, then that's a problem. But if I set them up before the reveal, then you ask the question, and so a lot of things really do hinge upon whether or not the story continues, and that's why that when we do these videos, when these videos release, it's all about getting the word out about the book that I wrote, because the more fans there are, the more people who buy it back, get hats, all the stuff, the more money can be raised to send the art to the artist, and money to the artist to continue the story, and so then questions can be answered. And like I said, it's only in retrospect, it's only in the looking back and realizing, oh, well, that part of the story didn't help the movie, or in my case, the book, that I say, hey, let it hit the cutting room floor.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually something I don't know if it's Topher Grace. I think it was Topher Grace who did it, but even before he actually did it, I think I've thought to myself a lot that you could edit each one of the trilogies of Star Wars and make a really good movie.
Yeah, I think Topher Grace did say it.
He did actually do it, and but unfortunately, every time it gets put on the internet, the mouse says, "Get that off out here! What are you doing?"
own it. Yeah. No residual.
Can't show nobody the good stuff.
Yeah.
And so like I said, I think that 2 is actually way better than 1 in the case of Amazing Spider-Man, and that's actually a good thing. I know often sequels fall below the original, but I think it's good to realize what worked and what didn't work. So, like, for instance, in the first film, the costume had black lenses on the mask.
Mm-hmm.
And while I didn't hate it, it did look awkward and unusual. And when you first see the Spider-Man costume in the second film, his eyes are white and they pop, and it's just like, yes, that's what we should have been doing this whole time.
Yeah. I always say that the second film is possibly, in my humble opinion, the best Spider-Man costume to date. I really do think that the Amazing Spider-Man 2 costume is like the ultimate version, and it looks really good.
It feels like the MCU took notes, because after the big climactic fight of No Way Home, and everybody forgetting Peter was Spider-Man, it seems like he took notes from both other dimensional costumes as well. So I mean, somebody else liked it, not just us.
Yeah. And going back to the first film, when me and Oz talked about this movie, I said that one of the issues that I liked it at the time, I kind of don't really like it now, is they try to make an art house film, and maybe it was, when was that, 2012?
It was 2012, yes.
That was with like the resurgence of reboots and stuff like that, and more grounded
approaches. Yeah, so every time that the word grounded comes up, I instantly think of Christopher Nolan's Batman, because people love to try and glom onto that success.
Mhm.
And because I was talking to our friend Ahmed today, and I said, oh, well, I didn't say. I was explaining to him the icon that I'm using on HBO Max, so which is now just Max. But I said I'm using Black Canary. He said, "Who's Black Canary?" Which I thought was funny because to me, easy. Like
You're right.
I was like, I said Green Arrow's love interest.
Yep.
He said Green Lantern has a love interest. Who's a superhero? I said, did I say Green Lantern? Because I mean Green Arrow. But anyway, so we're talking about using her as the icon, and he was like, "Well, what's her power?" And I'm explaining it, and he's like, "Well, has she ever showed up in something I watch?" And I was like, "Well, they do some odd stuff in Arrow, the TV show."
Mhm.
And I said, "It's not a superpower; it's a mechanical device that she wears, and there are actually two of her because she's like
Yeah.
her own sister." And
Yeah, they got weird.
and he was like, "Oh, that none of that sounds right." And I was like, "Well, they were trying to be grounded and serious and Dark Knighty, and that's why she didn't have superpowers.
Mhm.
It took until I think season 6 or 7 before they had an alternate dimension Black Canary show up with superpowers. And again, I think the groundedness is why Rhino is in a mech suit,
Mhm.
not being a man in a big body with a rhino horn coming out
But
his
you
head.
know, in the video game, they actually did make him. In the first one, they
Mhm.
actually did make him like they spliced together
Right.
different
Piece,
genomes.
yes.
Yeah,
Which
was
I
like,
think makes sense.
Right.
They did that with the lizard. Why not go all the way with?
right, exactly. They
so-
did, but
It is what it is. I ain't mad at it. Yeah. I just think that Paul Giamatti was over the top for my taste. Because I think Jamie Foxx really picked that perfect level of presentation. Because like I notated at one point, I was like, he's like this close to annoying, but he's staying right on the side of like, okay, I find you to be sincere, not too much. Because we were talking off video about how I thought for a minute I thought that he was a little Arnold, and then like Mr. Freeze Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Brandon brought up that he's actually Jim Carrey's Riddler because Jim Carrey's Riddler is totally over the top, but so enjoyable that you just let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I don't know where we're at. Riddler.
We were talking about Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I just think Jamie Foxx, like I said, he did way better than Paul Giamatti. Again, it ain't no knock on
Yeah.
Paul. I don't think it's his fault.
Or it's kind of sad, but it's true at the same time. He did better than the lizard, the guy who played.
Oh
the
yeah,
Lizard
Kirk
in the
Connors.
first-
He was so forgettable to
Yeah.
me.
They didn't even put him in No Way Home. They just, they rewounded a scene in the movie of him like transforming, and they put that in No Way Home.
Really, I
Yeah.
didn't realize.
Yeah, he wasn't even
Huh.
in the movie. Neither was Thomas Hayden Church. Like he was in the movie as a green, like when he was sand, but he wasn't like there. Does that make sense?
No, I don't get it.
Yeah, he was there, but green screened.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah, but the guy who played the lizard was not there. He just was talking and microphone. So
Interesting.
but yeah, they
I kind of wish that young Harry was in No Way Home.
yeah, me too.
2 reasons. 1, we would have had a Sinister Six team up, and 2, it would have been funny to see Norman, who doesn't look like his dad, talk to Harry, who doesn't look like his son.
Mm-hmm.
But that's irrelevant. It's not really that big of a deal. I just think that it would have been cool to finally have that Sinister Six, which Amazing Spider-Man 2 wanted to do so badly.
Yes. Oh my gosh. We're talking about wasted.
They're like, we're so desperate.
Yes. You got the Doc Ock arms, and then you got the Vulture arms, and you got so much stuff, and it's like, does any of that pay off? Well, according to No Way Home, no, it doesn't.
Exactly.
Because he just stops right there.
Well, speaking of No Way
Home.
Home and payoffs, right? So I think this is a fine jump off spot where it's like No Way Home really. So it's not what made me go back and rewatch. It was Limitless, the show, because there were so many hits in that series. But No Way Home was what really made me reflect back on my enjoyment of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's different takes of the character of Spider-Man, and really wish that we could take a trip back down to those separate universes. I wouldn't wouldn't rewind to where we left off. I wouldn't try and de-age all the actors and actresses.
Mm-hmm.
But I would just jump off, or just be like, here's where we are, and if you have to do a flashback to any certain particular thing, then just have short spurts of de-aging scenes, especially in the case of Tobey Maguire. But Andrew Garfield, I'd really like to see him get that third movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually think, so, I don't know if you heard or saw this rumor on the internet, but like, all week long I've been seeing that Emma, which one played Gwen Stacy? Emma Watson? No, Stone. Emma Stone. Yeah, Emma Stone turned down the role of Sue Storm in the MCU. I don't know if it's true or not, but what it makes me want is for her to have said, "Nah, I'm not going to play Sue Storm because I want to play Gwen Stacy as Ghost Spider," because I think that a great way to do a third Amazing Spider-Man is to have a Crisis on Two Earths type of story. Now, granted, that's a DC story, but have a Crisis on Two Earths story from Ghost Spider, Gwen Stacy's world, and Spider-Man, Peter Parker's world, where each living character will then get to meet up with their dead counterpart.
Mm-hmm.
Because basically Ghost Spider's story is she's Spider-Man, and instead of losing Gwen, she loses Peter. And so I wouldn't put them in a romantic situation, but I would just have them get together to have a cathartic time of it where they can realize that they're not alone, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what I would want from a Tobey Maguire film except for Bruce Campbell as Mysterio. That's the only thing that I'm asking for. Like it just felt like it was perfectly set up from 1, 2, and like, come on, why are we not doing this?
I think that there's even the concept or script where he was Mysterio.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Yeah, where there's like actual drawings with him that was going to be in Spider-Man 4.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I also would have liked for Bruce Campbell to have been Another World's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Just because I think that he has that... He would just bring a lot of fun to either which way that he was in it. And so... But yeah, so in this All or Nothing, because it's only 2 films, and it's simple. So to me, when I went back and I rewatched the art house, the elevated version of the Amazing Spider-Man,
yes.
I thought it was fine. I gave it a 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it, but it was far from the best Spider-Man that there's ever been. I did like the lucha scene and a few little things here and there, but
yeah, but when we talked about this off, there was a part that I laughed at, and I don't understand even why they even shot it this way.
Yeah.
But Uncle Ben's death, I laughed.
Oh yeah.
He was like, hey, stop right there!
You little hoodlum, get off my lawn. What are you doing?
Yeah, right. Get in his way. It's like, dude, just move.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, okay. And then 2, I don't understand why they felt the reason to have the guy, Peter's on his lowest end right now in the beginning of the film.
Oh yeah.
He's trying to get some chocolate milk.
Yep.
And the guy is being he's just being a dick about it.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, sorry, you're short. And it's like,
won't even take the 2 cents.
Yeah, he's like, okay,
he's like, you gotta leave change before you can take 2 pennies. I'm like, come on, man,
right.
That's dirty.
And then the robber comes in and robs a dude, and then he's like, hey kid, and gives him the chocolate milk.
Exactly.
It's like, okay, he's not. Like...
I have another really big complaint. So I know these 2 are on the smaller scale, but being somebody who grew up not with what you would call financial means, I always get irritated when I see crap like, oh, my hand is sticking to the sink. Oh, the handle broke off. Oh, I'm strong. I broke the sink. Oh, or breaking the front dang door. Like, who got money for that?
Yeah.
Who got the money for that? Ain't nobody got the money for that. Like, it's already pre-established these people are broke.
Yep.
Like, come on now.
Just for a funny gag. Oh, and another thing that annoyed me.
It's not even that funny.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so frustrating.
Another scene that's annoying in the first movie is Uncle Ben and the power the power speech.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying everything in his way, not to say with great power comes with great responsibility. It's
Exactly.
like,
Just
dude,
do it.
Just say.
Yeah, again, but that goes back to your analysis of just trying to avoid what has been done.
Yes.
And it's like, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right. Because he's just going on, if you have the power to do something, you also have the reason to be right, or something like that. It's like, dude.
Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah,
just
come
do
on,
it. Just do it.
It's set up there, the layup is there,
Yeah.
and you're trying to do a basket over the head. It's like,
it's not necessary.
yeah, it's like there are scenes in this movie where I just am a little bit like,
But here's the upside, right? So I give this movie a 3. What about you?
I give it a 3 also.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but that's the beauty of them getting that second chance with Amazing Spider-Man 2. They stop with the we're fancy. Oh, we're the amazing. No, they just go right into it. They said this is a superhero movie, and we're gonna do superhero stuff.
Yep.
Which I think is the much better choice. Which is why I give it a 4 out of 5. I'd say it's good. And here's one big thing that I took away, because I literally notated down. I was like, how is this movie going to get me back on board in 24 minutes? Because when Gwen dies, not a spoiler. Come on now, we all know. So when Gwen dies, I was like, how are they going to get me back on board in 24 minutes? That doesn't seem like enough time. But they did. They got me there with her graduation speech, which we don't get to hear when she's giving it, but Peter goes back and plays later. And then also the kid that believed in Spider-Man was another great, good job, guys. It's simple but effective.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And
It is
so I'm glad that they got that second chance.
Yeah, and also, I like the scene in the first one also, but when he takes off his mask and gives it to the kid.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah,
Spider-Man and the kids.
Yeah, that's
thumbs
good.
up.
And and that retroactively let the dad, even though you can say it's kind of corny now, but come on, it's superhero stuff.
Yeah. I'm totally fine with corny, and I'm cool with him having a reason to help out. So yeah, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
What'd you give this one overall?
Oh, I gave it a 3 also.
3, okay.
Yeah.
So you think it's on par with the
Yeah,
first?
I do. I like the first one a little bit more, but I just think they're
equal. Yeah, no, I feel you.
It's like whichever one you're feeling. I will say that the second one feels more like a superhero. It knows what it's like.
Exactly. Yeah,
It's
we're no longer ashamed.
Yeah, we're not trying to be grounded. We really are going to go like, hey, this is a superhero movie. Let's have some fun.
Yeah.
So
No, it was a good time.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.